Hey guys, it's me again. Second message. So, for this message, I want to talk to you a little bit about CP and pace. So, this early runners, and even I would say, uh, senior runners, they always wonder why is it that the coach or their coach or myself asking everyone to slow down when the goal is to actually hit a PR. Focusing on getting a PR is the right is normal. Everybody does that. And PR, by very definition, for those of you who have never heard this term, PR is personal record. And idea of PR is to increase your pace. That's how you get your PR in a race. I'm talking about. So if the goal is to increase pace, why do we keep saying slow down, slow down, slow down? How is that going to help in increasing the pace? That's a fundamental sort of disconnect people have, and they ask these questions, and it's a legitimate question. So let me throw some light on how you slow down now to increase pace later. So let's first define what is pace from a context of PR. So if you're running 13 miles, you get a PR not when you blast out of your start line, give a fantastic 7 miles, and then sort of die down in the last 6 miles. You're not getting a PR that way. No way. Try that out once. Why don't you try that out? Just pick up a 6 mile or 5 mile run, and you probably would know what your 5 mile maximum time is. And let's say for 5 miles you ran, 13 minutes a mile, 5 times 13, 65 minutes is your pace, and you just set out to do a 5 mile run, and you say, I'm going to break the 60. So you're going to just run like crazy. Try that out and see where you land. 99% of the time, you are not only not getting a PR for that 5 mile, you are actually probably, my gut instinct is 10% more than your best pace ever. Why is that happening? Now, there is a reason for that, right? And how is it that by running slow now, we are going to get a PR? So let me explain this beautiful concept through an analogy. Okay, imagine you have a balloon, and somebody has given you this balloon, and you've sort of blown air into it, and you have like a big balloon with a lot of air in it. And my sort of homework for you is you will slightly open the opening of the balloon so that you allow the air out. But the goal is to keep the air flowing for as long as possible. Let's say that's your assignment. That means when you open it up, a little bit of air starts coming out, right? So you switch on the timer, and the assignment is, I want you to hold this airflow for as long as possible. And that's your assignment. What would you do? If you just open it up, like fully open it up, you will see that all the air gushes out full speed, and maybe it'll only last half a minute. That's it. All the air is out of the balloon. If you constrict it too much, you will get little air out. Maybe you can have it for a long period of time. Think about this analogy from the perspective of the energy available in your body for your runs. Let's assume you have 5,000 units of energy available at the start of the run, and you require about 5,000 units of energy for finishing the race. So you're starting off with 5,000 units of energy available and 5,000 units required for a race to get that PR. Now, if you do this release of energy like that first case of the balloon, where you just go to town with it, open it up, let's just get all the energy available for a blast off, what really happens is you have used up a lot of that air that's available in that balloon, or the energy available in the body, and you have just blasted off, and suddenly in the last 3-4 miles there's not much airflow coming, even though there is energy available. the potential difference between the energy available and the energy requirement is not that high, I guess. That body is not really giving you the energy that is needed, even though it's there. Remember, I told you 5,000 units are available and 5,000 units are required for that distance. So even though it is there, it happens like the second case of that balloon where you've constricted it too much. And even though air is available, very little is coming out of it. And as a result, there is always a deficit in your energy deficit, and you cannot sustain the pace. So in this scenario, what happens is your splits would look something like this. Let's say your CP pace is 12 minutes. You do a 13-mile half marathon effort in this type of run. Your splits would look something like this, maybe a 10-minute split for the first 6 miles, even progressive reverse splits. But after 6-7 miles, you just can't hold it. And the bottom falls off. And you can even hit a 15-16-minute mile towards the last 3 miles. And it has happened with me many races before I kind of understood this. There is a popular adage that says that a half marathon begins at mile 10, or a full marathon begins at mile 20. So it's a warm-up to mile 10. The run is warm-up to mile 10, or in the full marathon, warm-up to mile 20. The reason is that is when PRs are made or not made. The last 6 miles or the last 3 miles. So how do we do that? So when you think about the other, back to the balloon analogy, if you're able to set it up in such a way that you're constricting the orifice, but you're not constricting it too much, so there is a decent amount of air coming out of it at a constant pace, then you not only extend the time of that experiment I was telling you, but also you are providing sufficient amount of air at a given minute or at a given time. Thereby there is no constricting of air as well. That's what we're trying to shoot for when you do a CP. So when you do a CP, you are really trying to simulate that part of it. And as you simulate it, you are able to. Give me a second. There's a flight on top. You can enjoy the view till that time. So as you simulate it, when you're running a CP, you are trying to hit that equilibrium between air demand or the energy demand and the energy supply. And as a result, your body is in a state of almost rest. Not rest, but state of equilibrium is the right word, I guess. And hence, your body is driving at peak output. Now, when you're used to running slow now, there's another physiological thing that also happens in your body. As you're running slow now in training, it's not that you're running slow always, but as you're running slow, you are running in oxygen-rich state. Because you're running an oxygen-rich state, your body is constantly thinking, okay, I have a little higher load right now, so let me add some more muscles. Let me add some more blood vessels. Let me, add some more, I forget the name. It's inside the muscle, man, the energy source. It's called, I'm just like blanking out. But there is this fuel cell inside the muscles, which is a place where the energy transfer takes place. And let me add that in the cells. So body is not just sitting and waiting for things to happen. It's actually working. Because it's working in an oxygen-rich environment, it's adding all of these sort of important, items that increases your running efficiency. So think about that. As you're doing CP for 8-9 weeks, let's start from the heart. Your heart is getting better from an efficiency standpoint. That means it's able to pump a lot better than what it used to pump. Like every compression of the heart, before it was pushing out 50 units of blood, now it's pushing out 70 units of blood. That's fantastic. Let's go to the lungs. Before, the transmission of oxygen and carbon dioxide from blood to the air was, 70% efficiency. Now it's 90% efficiency. So you're able to get more oxygen in the blood. And now this blood is flowing in the body. And because now body has made more and more blood vessels and tributaries and distributaries, body is now going to more and more parts of your body. The blood is now going to more and more parts of your body. So more muscles are getting oxygen-rich, fuel-rich blood, which is what we wanted. Like more extremities of the body is getting that. Not only that, while that is happening in this oxygen aerobic state, oxygen-rich environment, more muscle fibers have been built. So when you started the season, let's assume you had 1 million muscle fibers. Now you have 1.5 million muscle fibers. And not only do you have 1.5 million muscle fibers, you are also getting more blood to these muscle fibers. So that's fantastic again. Now, inside these muscle fibers, that chemical that I forget the name right now, that's also, the concentration is higher, and as a result, more energy processing takes place. So if you think about it, there is a wholesale inside-out transformation that's happening right now. Wholesale inside-out transformation. Because of this inside-out transformation, you're feeling better. Because you're feeling better, mentally you're getting stronger. And what happens? Cardiovascular, musculoskeletal, mental strength training is what is happening right now during oxygen-rich environment of your training. And as a result, for the same effort, your body is able to increase its pace or increase its output, because so much more powerful sort of elements are there in place, and hence your pace increases. Or in other words, when you run slow now, you are over time increasing your pace. Run slow now to run fast during the race day. That's really what it is, guys. I hope it makes sense. Do the CP well. Give me those controlled runs that I asked of you. Progressive reverse splits is what I asked of you. Looking at it, let's see if you can do that. And once you do that, it's going to be fun. Focus on your body. It's going to be only 2 messages today. Focus on your body. And when you do that, when you run good CPs, when you know how to control, you are marching towards your PR. Mind over miles. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.